Artificial intelligence in our education is clear. We are integrating artificial intelligence and sustainability into curricula across disciplines. That is work that has commenced, and we are determined that all curricula offered in Kabarak University will have AI in them. We are planning to establish artificial research labs and innovation hubs housed in our upcoming innovation center. Our Directorate of Research, Innovation and Outreach as a dedicated department focused on business incubation, supporting student startups through mentorship and incubation. We are also championing collaborative efforts with government and industry to help shape policies on digital inclusion and ethical innovation. Let me just bring this to your attention, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that I know the young people have embraced artificial intelligence. Those of us who are older seem to fear artificial intelligence. But we have no reason to fear, because if you fear, then you will actually drive yourself out of business. If you are a business person, you can even drive yourself out of an educational institution if you are a credible educational institution. I want to surprise you. There are countries in this world that have decided to mainstream artificial intelligence even in the basic education levels. China, with effect from 3rd of September, are rolling out artificial intelligence in their primary schools. It's a compulsory curriculum. For us, even in Kenya now, I do not know how many of us in the universities have embraced artificial intelligence, leave alone reviewing the curricula in universities to be CBE compliant. So we must be among the team that embraces artificial intelligence as an institution. So as we review our curricula, we ensure that we include artificial intelligence in them. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you to join hands with us to ensure that the future we build with artificial intelligence is not only smart, but also fair, green, and inclusive. So with those remarks, I wish you a productive engagement during this conference. For the conference participants, our students, mainly please ask questions, make comments as you listen to the various presentations. I know there's one of you who asked a question, and I'm sure CPA Kaibos will be able to answer that question in the course of this conference. So may this conference inspire new ideas, meaningful collaboration, and bold action. It is now my pleasure to declare the conference officially opened. You need to find out what CBS is. You need to find out what CBS stands for, what EBS stands for. I know them myself, and I'm not going to stands for what EBS stands for. I know them myself, and I'm not going to tell you. You can find out CBS and EBS in this country. Dr. Engineer Mosonik is an astute technocrat with a wealth of experience in both private and public sectors, spanning 35 years. He has a rich career profile, stretching across industries from engineering practice in the telecom sector to serving as a principal secretary in the State Department for Infrastructure and the chief administrative secretary in the Ministry of Petroleum and Mining. Dr. Engineer Mosonik holds a doctoral degree in business administration, specifically strategic leadership from North Central University, USA, and another PhD in business administration, strategic management from Moore University. He also holds postgraduate degrees in digital transformation, strategic focus, finance and business administration, and a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, stroke telecommunication from the University of Nairobi. So those of us who are satisfied with one degree be challenged. Our keynote speaker has 2 PhDs. He has several postgraduate degrees. So that's a challenge for those of you who still have the advantage of years. If you are 18, if you are 19, if you are 20, God giving you another 8 years, what are you going to do with those 8 years? It is doable. So I want to emphasize that because you don't have to just remain where you are. Use your time and better yourself. Dr. Engineer Mosonic is a fellow of the Institute of Engineers of Kenya and a registered member of the Engineers Board of Kenya. Dr. Mosonic, Kabarak University School of Engineering and Science, Engineering and Technology is now developing an engineering program in electrical and electronics engineering. We are at 95%. So I am sure you will be a key resource person as we roll out that engineering program. Ladies and gentlemen, let me stop there because I've not touched his business, I've not touched his family, I've not touched other areas, but let me stop there and ask you to join me in welcoming Dr. Engineer Mosonic to the podium. All right, can we give him the 5 Kabarak University claps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Funga, fungua. Mmefanya vibaya. Aya, funga, fungua. You know, he's an academician and he's a politician, so he understands. Thank you, Karibu. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Professor Henry Kiplagat, who is the Vice Chancellor of Kabarak University. You see, when you introduced me, I couldn't believe. I was asking myself, am I the one being introduced or somebody else? But again, thank you very much. When you're normally introduced by a friend, he does it so articulately until, you know, you'll not be able to do it. But I appreciate. Again, the Vice Chancellor of Kabarak University, Professor Henry Kiplagat, the faculty members, distinguished delegates, university management and faculty members, industry stakeholders, and the students of Kabarak Business School and Economics. Sorry again, and my colleague, guest speaker, CPA Murray. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jambo. Again, thank you very much for inviting me. I think it's a big honor because I've had some association with Kabarak community, maybe not university, within Kabarak community. My 2 children went through this school, the high school, and I would have loved them. I mean, I would have loved actually if they probably chose to come to this university, but they went elsewhere. And apart from that, maybe the other chairman of the council, earlier Vice Chancellor, Sambili, we were in school together. So at least I have some association with this university. And apart from that, I really like again to collaborate with this university in many areas, which I'll be able to discuss shortly. I'm not going to really repeat what the Vice Chancellor said about me, but I think there is something very important probably where I'll be able to mention maybe and challenge young people, young students who are here today. And that is, if you see all those, it's not really the degrees of business administration or entrepreneurship or the others and so on. I think it is this digital transformation, which I'm really very keen, and I'm pushing the research further on that. And maybe there's a story behind it, in the sense that, you know, my earliest stint I was in ICT world, and we used to call telecoms engineers. And then later, after going through all those other areas, infrastructure, all these, I later came now to Safaricom. And that is where the latest technologies actually are being implemented. So if you see again the gap between the university, the engineering which I learned, and the latest technologies, I think is very wide. And that is why probably I decided to do this, to close that gap. Because today, I think from all the other speakers here, the chaplain, the Vice Chancellor, the Dean, I think all their speeches actually, they don't forget there's what they call AI coming out. So you see, whether you are in church, whether you are in business, whether you are in wherever, any kind of sector, I mean, this thing is coming up, AI. So within digital transformation, they are all the emerging technologies. But one which captured my attention is artificial intelligence. And at this point in time, I'm studying deeper and doing a lot of research in AI. And as it applies in business, and also our day-to-day life, and also look at the risk which actually come with it. So I'll be able to mention slightly as we go along. But again, I'm not going to read through all my speech, because a lot has been said, and I don't want to repeat. I think we need to spend more time in question and answers, and that curiosity which I would like to see from the students and from the other community. And just as Vice Chancellor mentioned, there is the young group, and there is the elderly group. I didn't know, I think there's my group here, you know. We are closer to level 6, you know. But that is not an excuse in terms of leading the way when you are studying these emerging technologies. And that is why today in Safaricom, in as much as we are slightly, but I'm leading a team innovation in terms of all those technologies, right from customer experience, all day in terms of core operations or core technologies, the access network, and everything. And you'll not be able to lead such a team until you are also be a leader, and you should be in front. So that challenges you and challenges us also in terms of how we move forward. Again, all those kind of salutations we have mentioned, and all the, again, the honor which you bestowed again, which again invited me. In fact, to be very honest, I had a meeting, board meeting this afternoon. But I say I must come. I must come, and that is probably why and it's that commitment which I thought, And that kind of respect, that kind of way I hold Kabarak high, that is probably why I came here. And I'll be coming many, quite often when we share this kind of thing. I think we have discussed about sustainable business model in the era of artificial intelligence and then for the youth empowerment. So I think there are 3 areas where we should be able to discuss. Sustainable business model, and then a bit of AI, and then now, how can those aspects empower you as youth? So maybe I'll start by sustainable business development, models. You see in business, when you talk about business model, we are looking, and it's must that if you have a business model, bad business model, you'll not be able to succeed. If you have a good business model, you'll be able to succeed. So business model, we are talking about key activities which you are going to do. And then there's what you call value proposition in between. And then there'll be the customer end. And then there will be the revenue streams, or what we call component and cost structure. So if you look at that, the entire kind of thing, that is what you call business model. Now the big question which you are asking is, so in simplicity terms, when we say a business model, we are actually saying how you create and deliver and then capture the value of that proposition which you are taking to your customers. So the question which comes to us now as youth, what is the business model which you are envisioning or which you are actually thinking? So I think today this is very important again, to be able to have within the theme, the business model. How you can be able to manufacture or deliver and then capture the value within the value proposition. Then going to the second stage, how can AI drive youth-led business that are profitable, ethical, and impactful? So you know this business model. You see this one, you can do it manually. You can do it within technology. But I think the topical issue which we'll be discussing, and maybe, again, I would like to see a lot of discussion, because I was perusing through the areas of discussion. AI is not really featuring much, but AI is interfacing with a lot in terms of business, so that we see what is the latest in time. Because the question, once you have the business model, how am I going to progress? And nowadays, there are many different kinds of business models. There are what you call platforms. If you see like A and B, if you see like the one in retail, Amazon, or the one for transport, if you see all those are platforms. And those are examples of business model which we have been bringing on board the artificial intelligence. So the same thing also which you are going to ask yourself as you move forward, how can I bring on board AI in what I'm thinking, and especially in terms of business model? And something again which you should be able to know is AI is progressing very fast. In fact, in terms of technology, we call exponential. And exponential comes into place when we have many technologies. Like we have said, AI, we have computing, we have cloud, we have all those, and they come into what you call convergence. Because with one technology, you are not going to do much. So if you are in either like retail kind of platform, Amazon. There are many hosts of technologies which are coming on board. But one thing which is you must be able to assure is AI is going to drive in terms of the knowledge, the expertise within those technologies. So the question is, going forward, what is it that we are going to do as young people? What you are going to do as entrepreneurs? I think the answer here is you must be able to bring on board AI if you are going to increase efficiency, if you are going to cut down cost, if you are going to do what you call a speed rollout in terms of manufacture of your item. You see, it's very interesting because each and every day, something which used to take 40 years is now taking few months. You remember when we had COVID, something which we would have done within the 10 years was brought in to do it within a few months. And that is where we are. That means, that is what you call disruption. So I want also to challenge you, young people, that these startups, which are based in operation in terms of technology, are the one going to upset the incumbent. And something very interesting you should be able also to learn is all the small companies, you know, those ones, they started in college. If you see like Apple, if you see like all these, you know. So looking at that, we should not look at it from negative perspective. Nor can we say, oh, what jobs are we going to give these people? The jobs are what we are discussing here, innovativeness. And it's something very interesting again that you as young people, the apps and everything, what you are going to do, it will not take a long, long time for you to be able to get the benefits. The employees which I have in the office, I think two actually came from Kabarak here. Very top, very good students. And I'm very happy. Now, I'm also advisor to Murang'a governor. And if you have seen all those telemedicine and so on, all the apps which are fleet management, the land platforms and so on, we have again 2 students from Kabarak here, which you have between. So it means Kabarak community, the students actually within, and it's very interesting again, one of the students, he didn't do the IT part. Machine learning and the others and so on. Actually, his first degree was Bachelor of Education. Not that one is not from Kabarak, that one is from Embu. And when he came, he immediately registered with Moringa School. And now he's among the top guys now within people who can be able to manage and prevail this application which we are discussing here today. So I'm telling you again, as business students here, it doesn't matter what you did, but you can twinkle and change your life within 6 months, 8 months. It's not too late. But if you bring on board the business aspect and then the technology aspect, then I think you are there to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I think it is very interesting. But the issue is you have thought about business model, and you know what it is, business model, and you know what the technology AI can be able to do. And you know the speed in which you must be able to learn this AI. You see, within the AI, we have what you call traditional AI, which was based on rule-based. And then we have, okay, the AI, this one. We have not even gone to the generative AI. AI which is using predictive models to be able to prescribe to the business what is it the market is going to be and so on. But again, before you start even learning that, there's what you call generative AI, in which the ChatGPT and all these Gemini and the others and so on. But even that, within the next coming few years, there is what you call agentic AI. Now, if you see what is happening here, this AI is becoming autonomous. Then we ask ourselves, where are our jobs going to be? Because agentic AI is going to predict, get the data, and what we call is new data based on what is happening, and then make a decision, and then they have a goal in which they have the objective they want to achieve. And they are autonomous. So the risk which you have is, how can we be able to ensure those kind of AI are not going to make wrong decisions? I think that's a question you should be able to ask. But the message which I want to pass to you along those lines is, the technology is moving very fast, exponentially. You see, our mind is trained in what we call linearly way. Linearly means, I know Kabarak will have 20 students next year, more students. I know within the next 5 years, they'll have maybe 6,000 or what, I don't know what is the population for students here. You see, if you see that thing, it is actually linear. But when it comes to these technologies we are discussing about AI and the other technologies, it's going to shift. Say that if you're getting revenue of 3 million as as a startup, within the next 3 years, you could be surprised and be what you call a unicorn. Unicorn is the one getting over $1 billion because of these technologies. So there are a lot of opportunities in which we are going to. So how do we move forward on this issue? And especially the young people, the youth. I think the issue is, you start with a problem. What is this thing which I want to do? And be also what a creative mind, curiosity. Why is this one happening? Is there a way I can be able to improve? And then out there lies opportunity in which you can make money. Now, the other aspect is, as an entrepreneur, you know there'll be challenges, again, as you move forward. But those challenges will shift the winners and the losers. But the issue is, don't get again, there are many people who tried 100 times. They failed 99 times and they succeeded. So again, don't give up the first time it doesn't work. It won't work. But adopt entrepreneurial kind of mind, where you are ready to take risks and move forward. Now, there's a word which, again, sustainability. Whatever you are doing, what is the impact within the environment? Positive. We want an environment which will be good to us all. We build that. So whatever you are doing, again, make sure it fits in within the environment. Now, the basis for AI, which you are discussing, the blood actually for AI, the kind of thing which drives the engine, are the data. So even before you start working, do I have a data which I want to build and incorporate my AI? So those are issues which comes up. Now, the other aspect is, you start small and scale fast. Yeah? Start small and scale fast. Don't give up. Be what we call resilience. In fact, that is the word which is normally used. Whatever their turbulence, you should be able to withstand and move forward. Now, again, the issue here is, I didn't come here to teach, but I came here to give you an experience of what is happening. In Safaricom today, if we don't move very fast, we are going to lose customers. And you see, we are going to cutting-edge technologies, which again, the network in due course will be what you call autonomous network. It runs itself. Very few people, number of staff within there. So as I go to conclude, I think there are issues which, how can we be able, Safaricom is a tech company. again, a lot of those AI issues which you are discussing. And I think there are some previous programs which, again, they have collaborated with this university. But not only that, I think we have a lot of programs for the youth which we want to help you and pilot it and make sure that you succeed. And in due course, maybe I'll arrange the staff concerned, let them come and give you those ideas and how you can be able to benefit. And especially during Innovation Week, so that you get ideas. You know when you went to school? When you went to school, I would be the obvious man if I succeed alone, the number one. But the world has changed. The world has changed. What do you call collaboration? We succeed in our place of work if we can collaborate within our colleagues. We succeed if you work as a team, 2 or 3 guys, collaborate, and then you move forward. So that is, again, something which I'll be bringing on board. In terms of revenue, we are close to what you call $1 billion company. That tells you the kind of enormous potential in which technology or technologies have, if you can be able to push in yourself. Be creative, discuss, and again, be curious. Whenever you go again, you see an opportunity where you can be able to get, where you can be able to. So, as I conclude, let me emphasize that the convergence of sustainable business practices and artificial intelligence presents one of the greatest opportunities of our time. In your opportunity to lead to the purpose and innovate with integrity. And again, just as the earlier speakers, I hope you'll get something out of this conference. And normally keen listeners, you listen, but make sure you pick something at the end of the day when you are getting, so that this conference you'll be able to achieve that kind of objective. But young people, I wish you all the very best. And once again, I think this is, you have all the opportunities which we never had during our time. You see, if we are doing at this point in time, we are trying to navigate, and you must put in a lot of effort as we move forward. But I'm looking forward again to collaborating with Safaricom in due course in your innovative week, in any kind of venture, which again you'll be doing again as young people. But we wish you all the very best. And again, once again, the management again through the Vice Chancellor, thank you again. Thank you for really welcoming me. And I apologize, I didn't have to read the speech. It is important again so that I put these things in perspective as we move forward. I wish you all the best, and may God bless you, and thank you very much. Asante.
Let's give him the 5 Kabara claps as he gets to sit down. Mbili, tatu, nne, tano, fungua. Wonderful. Now, thank you very much. I really cannot add or subtract anything, and we are going to go directly to the plenary session where we'll have our questions and answers. Now, what I'll request is, once you are going to ask the question, you stand up, tell us your name, ask the question, and to whom you are directing, because we've had 2 speakers. Let's start right away. Gift Ocheng, are you still in the room? Gift Ocheng had a question. Okay, I believe he probably will walk in again and ask. Any other person? All right. Maybe they had some questions that had already been passed on. I just wanted to find out if the members wanted to verbalize their questions. But with your permission, I can ask them on your behalf. But the issue is, I'm not too sure to whom it was directed, but I believe that our speakers will be able to give us an answer. Question number one that I had was, what strategic partnerships have your agency formed with academia, startups, or youth innovations to co-create AI-driven water solutions? That's for 𝘚𝘶𝘴𝘵𝘢𝘪𝘯𝘬𝘚. And how do you measure the impact of such collaborations? Very quickly again, what strategic partnerships have your agency formed with academia, startups, or youth innovators to co-create AI-driven water solutions in creating tangible job opportunities in the water and environmental sectors? The third question, can you provide specific examples of how your agency is empowering youth, especially in rural or underserved areas, through AI or technology-driven programs beyond just internships or capacity-building workshops? And one last one, given that your agency operates in a traditionally non-tech sector, in brackets, water infrastructure, what concrete AI-driven innovations have you adopted to improve service delivery, and how scalable are they across other public agencies? I hope 𝘚𝘶𝘴𝘵𝘢𝘪𝘯𝘀, you've been able to get that. All right. Yes, maybe I can give you the microphone. Or you prefer to? Okay.
Very good questions. Very challenging. The first one, on the employment opportunities, does the Central Rift Valley create artificial intelligence in water sector and by extent infrastructure development? I didn't mention in my speech that in AI, our desire, the very common challenge that we undergo in water infrastructure is loss of water. You develop the infrastructure, you know the water is treated and supplied for sale, but loss, I mentioned that's about 43% non-revenue that is lost overall in the whole country. So AI, we are imploring mostly on smart water system metering, and that is an aspect that most of our suppliers are now supplying us with smart meters. The smart meters, you don't have to go all the way to the old system to take, pick the measurements or the rates that units that has been used. But in your phone, you can know that amount of water has been taken by so and so. So real-time monitoring of water pipelines requires also technology. Those are opportunities available for youths. So now we are able to reduce a lot of loss through predictive detections of maybe also weakness in the pipeline. So jobs that are created in this, to kind of combine all these questions, in urban and in the rural area, in internship programs are very important. And in addition, we also take staff on contracts in different fields, economists, ICT, technicians, field technicians. So these opportunities are available. And also, in terms of collaboration with universities, it's something new that we are also starting now. We are coming in to see if we can have, join hands with Kabarak University. We have started with Egerton University, and very soon we will expose ourselves to these all opportunities. Water demand forecast. AI can be used in data collection and to forecast community water needs. And for technicians, survey for borehole sites. The equipments that we use are AI powered. You can, we've reduced getting to know the right site for a bowl. So many a times with the equipment that we used to use in those days were not very good. But now you can easily have a machine that is AI powered, and the survey can give you an accurate site where when you drill that position, you will get water. Data analyst and also community liaisons, people who are equipped and they can collect as much data as we will need. So I don't know if there's any question I've not answered. I want to believe I've tried to answer most of the questions. Enhanced mapping tools, GIS and satellite data for better planning and water resources. And I've talked of those predictive maintenance systems to detect faults in the infrastructure. So I will not say we are very new in the market, especially to this institution. We are not very new in the market, but what we can only say, because most of our staff, 60% mostly are engineers, and this institution, maybe you are starting very new to have engineering department, so that we can take more of your students on those attachment and internship, where you do your basic training, and also on this contract. I mentioned of this program that you are doing, constructing most of water infrastructure, and we took so many staff, almost more than 50, on contracts, cutting across all professions, accountants, economics, and engineers. They were trained, and some have already been absorbed in various institutions, including ours. So offering digital and AI training to build skills in water management is also an opportunity for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope nobody has been left out with their questions. Okay. Kindly say your name and ask the question and to whom it's directed. Pick up the microphone.
Okay, thank you. My name's 𝘠𝘶𝘴𝘵 Vincent, and I'll direct my questions to Dr. John. At least 3 questions. The first one, with the generation of AI, how can the small and medium enterprises, or we, the students at the same time entrepreneurs, involve AI use into our businesses without that much investments? That is the first one. Then the second one, how can we democratize AI to involve those who are also in those regions where much technologies have not yet reached? Then the last question, with the uprising of Gen Zs and Safaricom giving out their details to the investigative bodies, does this somehow go against their rights? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Somebody else, please. Oh, kindly, Masharia, bring the mic this side.
Afternoon. My name is Adrian Jones, pursuing economics and statistics, and my question goes to CPA Douglas. Thank you for the insightful session, and while you were speaking, I heard you mention something about logo design and a reward. So I was asking if you can maybe elaborate maybe the criteria and something a little about the same. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Faith Marion from Pursuing Hospitality Management. My question is to Dr. John. So you've clarified and told us that Safaricom is heavily a tech company, and you've told us on how maybe other businesses can incorporate AI. But I would like maybe an expounding on the same, because you've said only on predictions AI. You've not yet told us more on how AI can actively integrate with businesses that are non-tech. Thank you.
One more, maybe. All right, if none, then I'll quickly go through the ones you forwarded to the message. So number one, to Dr. John, how is your organization leveraging AI-driven connectivity connectivity to support emerging business models, particularly those led by young entrepreneurs in underserved areas? Secondly, in your view, what are the most overlooked AI applications in telecom that could revolutionize how young people create or scale businesses? And the third one is, with increasing automation through AI in network management and customer service, what strategies would you recommend for preparing youth for future job markets in this sector? Number four, how do you see the collaboration between telecoms and universities evolving to ensure that youth are not only consumers of AI-driven services, but also creators and policy influencers? And finally, what ethical considerations would guide youth-driven AI innovations in the digital business ecosystem, especially with regard to data privacy and network fairness? And we had one question from Mr. Jonathan Maritim. I think I can give him the mic.
Hey, thank you so much, and all protocols observed. My question goes to our keynote speaker, Dr. Engineer 𝘠𝘶𝘴𝘵𝘢𝘪𝘯𝘀𝑢. In your early years of your academic journey, you started with IT and then engineering. and then later switched to business. What motivated you to switch to business? Asante sana.
Thank you.
You know, when you started with my colleague, with many questions, I was a bit worried whether I didn't make any impression. But I'm seeing now you have asked many, many questions, which I'm not very sure whether I'm going to answer. But I think I want to start with the one somebody about agencies and data privacy and so on. You see, any organization is governed by the Data Act, whatever, the laws actually governing the privacy. And what I know, you see there is that perception that Safaricom probably is giving out. We do the same business with Airtel, the other competitors and so on. But maybe we are pro-government, we are being seen to be pro-government. It was what we call shareholders, and so on. But I want to say again that quite often perception drives people to think that it could be the truth. I'm not very sure, maybe at Int'L or whatever, but at my position, even we ask the board, not only within the agencies, we have a project with Kenya Revenue Authority. So we are asking the management, look here, are you going to divulge information about every one of you to KRA? I don't know why people fear Kenya Revenue Authority. I think you guys, you don't want to disclose your mobile, the money you transact within your mobile setup and so on. But I think that is a concern which everybody probably has in terms of, it's more perception. Maybe, I don't know, but to be very honest, within the higher level, that is something which we streamline. Now, the other issue which was asked was about democratization of information, which is true. We are saying today, whether you are a small entrepreneur, you are a big company and so on, you have equal access in terms of investment, in terms of accessibility to information, which can be able to enable you prosper in your kind of innovation. So I don't think anybody, or that there's no infringement in terms of you as a young entrepreneur. I don't think you'll be able actually to, so nobody is going to deny you to get information. And I'll tell you again, within Safaricom, I think today we are connecting more than almost close to 1,000 innovators who bring in through what you call API, who bring in different kind of innovation or apps within the network. If you see whatever M-Pesa, if you see somebody, if you see whatever is happening within which you load it here, is actually, and even if you have something very interesting today, which we can be able to market, I think I'll give you the access to be able to get the people who are concerned or the department, which you can take your kind of app, which so long as you know it can be, is marketable. Now, there is something else which, and to be very honest, I'll not do justice to this because there are quite a lot of issues, and that shows actually the kind of interest, the curiosity which we have. There's something which I forgot to mention to you in terms of what does Safaricom actually do in terms of empowering youth. Now, the question which we have said again is, during this Innovation Week, make sure you come out, or if you have an app which you think actually is marketable, which can make a business case, there is an avenue in which you can be able to direct you. And what I had promised earlier was I'll get the people who are concerned so that let them come and tell you how you can be able to, again, scrutinize as it goes through the channel until the thing has been approved. Not most of them, of course, most of them will be rejected. Some of them will be able to. And I think you must have had a lot of cases actually which are coming up and say, that application which was M-Pesa, it was my application. I'm not very sure whether it was or not. I think there was also what you call an agreement. If you want to bring in your app within Safaricom, And if you see, like even this phone today, there are many apps which are being done actually by small entrepreneurs, which they load into this phone. So that should not be a big issue. There is something which I didn't tell you. In my local area, Sotik, I come from Sotik in Bomet, we are actually building a digital hub, digital and innovation hub within the community. And that facility will be ready within the next 6 months. That is by December, January, we'll be actually launching the activities, launching the programs in that facility. The facility is close to about 60 million facility. We'll have AI labs. We have public access in terms of if people want to do their online jobs and so on. We'll have the training against certification courses, which are more or less created towards like a Moringa type of approach, so that we want to empower people. And again, I think for those ones who are doing AI here, there'll be a point where you don't need to know coding. It's called no-code kind of application. So again, those will be things like a quick kind of thing, intervention which you can be able to do. Now, when you look at that, I think that is something which you are taking close to the rural areas so that they can be able to benefit and be able to apply. Now, the other aspect which we're doing in the facility is what you call retooling. You see, most of the people who came out of universities, they don't know how to use the tools, ICT tools actually to be able to do day-to-day kind of facility. So again, we'll be offering the kind of training. And I've already approached World Bank, African Development Bank, the Huawei Academy, and all the others and so on. Even Safaricom will be part of the team. Now, what we are doing in the same, and somebody actually asked about inclusivity, going to the rural areas. I think that is something we are taking to the rural areas so that people can, you don't have to go to Nairobi to be able to benefit from those kind of perspective. Now, I think this one is very interesting. And again, sorry, what motivated me to move from engineering to business and so on? You see, as you advance, as you grow, as you mature, you know, there are many people of you, when do you retire? You go and you must do business. So there is no technology is actually which enables that business to move faster and so on. There's something which you would have asked me, even something like, what is this thing which made me study something on AI? That thing actually came accidentally, you know. We were going to Dubai and with my friend for holidays. And then I went to Textbook Center and then bought, there is what you call Industrial Revolution 4 by one of the writers of World Economic whatever forum. It's called SWAP. There's a German, yeah. So I read through that thing. And what I said from this one here, I think I'm not turning back. It's not a technology which I knew, but it's something new which excites me. So I said the best thing for me here is to register for exam so that it disciplines me to study. Now, you are seeing now MBA and the others and so on. You see, when I was in management level within the company, you see, I was in charge of a subsidiary. So there used to be these guys. They come in and finance, they read a lot of good reports and all those kind of things. Then I challenge myself, I should know these finance guys. Yeah? I should know these HR guys. I should know this marketing, whatever. So I say, I must study MBA. So, and I did it. And actually enabled me as a leader. Anything you are seeing within the company comes through that. So part of this curiosity is actually what enabled me to study some of those other things. Now, the AI thing is, I told you about digital transformation. So I said I must register for an exam. Now, I registered for an MSc degree at University of Hull in UK. Within 2 years, I graduated. And then little did I know that I was coming to Safaricom and work within. So some of these things are accidental, and then somewhere along this line, they fit in your line and so on. So my good friend, don't ever, you see, this learning is a lifelong learning, and I encourage you to study. And in fact, don't leave this specialization issue. Widen your scope so that you can be able to contribute constructively. If a finance person comes, if you must make a decision, if a technology come, if we must be able to, to make a decision. And in fact, I'm running a program called Digital Leadership, in which we are saying the CEOs, because everything comes from IT, the business which you have discussed, and you must make a decision. So you not to know too much, but broad kind of thing. That also happens to digital governance. So again, don't ask me what motivates me. You'll be a board of directors soon, and again, you must be able, you'll make a decision based on this thing. I don't know how to, there are quite a lot of questions here, which again, I'm not going to go through. But all in all, I think that is an overall kind of view in terms of policy influencing AI, in terms of security, cybersecurity, in terms of the risks, especially that you are not involved. There's what we call unexplainable kind of decision making within the AI, that black box. How are you going to do that? What is it that you are going to do so that it doesn't happen? But let me tell you again, democratization, whatever is happening here is happening in China, is happening in the US, and the others and so on. So we must move fast, also just like the other nation, like the other countries. If we don't, we'll be left behind in terms of business and everything. Sorry again, I cannot be able to go through. These are about 10 or so questions, but that is a broad kind of thing. But I think the most interesting one was the one for Gen Zs and the others, which again, in terms of at both level and the internal and so on, we are governed by the same data privacy, and there is always a company which come and audit to see the compliance to those data and privacy. So asante sana, thank you.
Adrian John, you have interest in the logo. Okay. You have interest in the logo that I talked about. A logo is something like this. For you to do a good logo, you have to understand the mandate of the organization. You have to understand the core values of that organization, the mission of the organization, the vision of the organization, so that now you capture the mind of that institution. If you look at this logo, I want to believe it defines Kabarak University. Is it true? Yeah, so Adrian, what we are going to do, we will place an advert open to all of us, but we encourage for the youth category, so that you compete with other Kenyans. And also, you pick our logo in our website, www.crv.wwda.go.ke. So that one, you'll see our logo, and now you'll be inspired. Pick my mind also as the CEO, because the logo will be approved by me. So you have to do something that pleases me. Is it? That's true. So you have to capture my mind. As I used to like the Speaker of National Assembly, Marende, those days. People would complain, why are you not giving me a chance to talk? He said, you have to catch the eye of the speaker. So I will also encourage you, you have to catch my mind, and that will be the logo that we are likely to pick. Thank you. There's another question, how is the agency supporting innovations? Yes, we do support all kinds of innovations. In one of my last paragraph in the speech, which I've shared with Dr. Ezra, he will share with you, I did mention the purpose of us as an agency. We want to collaborate with the institutions like this so that we encourage you to present your innovations. We have a discussion. Sinisawa. Thank you.
It's been a wonderful interaction. And there's just one final question that's touching on public procurement and the logo. You'll just kindly allow me, then we can close the questions there, please.
Thank you. My name is Elton, and when I hear something about public procurement, I get psyched up, especially for our youth. Maybe 𝘠𝘶𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘀 to clarify that about the logo. If you are going to have it as open for our youth to compete with other startup or other businesses, I do feel that they are likely to be, you see, these are young people and they do not have the financial muscle to compete with the rest of the suppliers. So what if you kind of coin it as form of a CSR to tailor our own youth here rather than opening it for the other competent, powerful suppliers out there? Thank you, thank you.
Elton is a wonderful ambassador. All right, so thank you very much. I believe that we've had quite some invaluable information. And as we've been told, during the Innovation Week, there's so much we can be able to learn, even practically, and be able to also ask our questions. So now, in the interest of time, following through our program, I'm now going to invite the Director, Rio, Dr. 𝘠𝘶𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘀𝘎. Then he'll take us through the award system as well as the vote of thanks. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Can we clap to Madam Lydia Ngubia for work well done? Thank you. I want to, first of all, appreciate and acknowledge our CEO, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Henry Kiplagat, for having time to sit here even through because of his busy schedule. So I acknowledge your presence, sir, for being here. I want to also acknowledge the presence of Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor John Ochola, Academic and Research. I acknowledge the presence of Professor Ronald Chepkilot, Administration and Finance, and also our registrars. I can see Professor Simon Kipchumba, HR and Administration. I acknowledge also the presence of all the administration board members for being part of this. I want to also acknowledge Professor Kibati, the Dean School of Business and Economics. I acknowledge the keynote speaker, Dr. Engineer John Mosonik, and also our guest speaker, 𝘠𝘶𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘀𝘕 Kaibos, for the moment and the time you've had with us here. The faculty members, School of Business and Economics, thank you for gracing the occasion. And to our esteemed students, you filled the hall. Actually, the space is not enough. We are worried now of more coming. But we want to thank you for being patient and being here. This is our third conference this year. We've had 2, and this is the third in a series of 13 conferences in the year. So from the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Outreach, we are so glad. What we are seeing here is a work that started several months ago. And in that, I want to appreciate Dr. Ezra Rono. He's done a commendable work, always calling and finding out. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the good work. Now, I wanted also to, just from what the speaker said, on the Central Rift Innovation Week, this is an event that takes place annually. We've reached out to several groups, including Safaricom, and I'm so delighted that you're here with an open hands to participate. So in September 14th, all the way to around 19th, we will be having Central Rift Innovation Week, and I want to tell students, this is your moment. So kindly mark the dates and come and participate. It will be a big event. Safaricom is here and is telling us that their hands are open. We will engage more, sir. And also, I can't miss to talk about the issue of the logo, because when I went to assess one of our students, sir, in Kenya Space Agency, sometimes in 2023, this was a third-year student on attachment, and this student looked at the logo that Kenya Space Agency wanted to pay for, and he told the CEO there that this is not worth your company. Give me time, I create for you one, and you see what you'll do for me. And I want to tell you this, that the logo that is at the Kenya Space Agency was developed by our student. So I agree with Mr. Elon, who is saying that kindly allow the Kabarak students to develop that logo and support our students. Thank you. So coming back to the vote of thanks, I want to appreciate each and every one of us for giving us the support. I appreciate the support I've gotten from our Vice Chancellor. Those approvals, they make us run on. I thank also Professor Ochola for helping to make sure that this is a success. Now, if you look at the book of abstracts, which we have sent to you on soft copy, we have the soft copy of the same. We have 20 papers that are to be presented here from 2. And those 20 papers are from different groups. Kindly purpose to attend. Those are abstracts of the conference. There are 20. I've seen one from Ethiopia and others from other universities. Kindly take the opportunity and participate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring this to the close, but I want to appreciate our guests for finding time. And that one thing that has touched me from our keynote speaker, that he had another meeting, but gave this a priority. Can we clap for him? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that honor that you've given unto us, and you have graced this occasion. So I want to kindly welcome our Vice Chancellor, Professor Henry Kiplangat, to appreciate for us our keynote speaker, Dr. John Musonik. Kindly come over and receive your present, sir. Can we clap in appreciation? Yes. Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Next. Okay. Next, we request CPA 𝘠𝘶𝘴𝘵 to come over and also receive his gift. Can we clap for him? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yes, we are finishing. We are just praying and then. Kindly sit, sir. Now, as we bring this to the end, I want to welcome our chaplain to come over and close for us. We break for lunch, then we gather back at 2 for very engaging presentations. Welcome, sir.
Makofi kwa Dr. Nyawere. Thank you very much. Director, God bless you. I want to request us to stand as we close with a word of prayer. After the prayer, we will share the grace as we leave. Let's pray. Our God and our Father, we come before you this afternoon with thanksgiving in our hearts as we give you all the glory and honor because you've been good to us. Thank you, Lord, for helping us to have this conference. And indeed, we've learned much which can help us to better our lives. And especially for our youth, we want to pray that, Lord, you may continue to empower them even through this conference so that they can do something for themselves, and better our world. We want to thank you for our chief guest and the guest speaker. We speak a blessing upon them, that, Lord, the way they have enriched us, may you continue to enrich them even in their workplaces. We want to pray that as we continue in this conference, that your grace may be upon us. Even the presentation this afternoon, we ask that you may give us time to listen and engage. Disperse us with your blessings now until we meet again, for we pray with thanksgiving in Jesus' name. Amen. And now, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you very much, and God bless your afternoon.
Thank you so much. And we can disperse as we wait for the 2 a.m.